Hi, good morning. My name is Scott Bradley, and I've come from 15 years in the car business, and before that, about 25 years in the restaurant industry. The common question is, why did you do cars? What was it about the restaurant industry that sent you into the car sales? And I've always had a passion for BMW, and I would do restaurant events and catering gigs and always get in my BMW and drive home. Passionate about that, and my impetus, my motivation to get in the car business was I wanted to communicate that same passion that I feel about BMW every time I shook a hand, every time I did delivery. And my big motivation, I think, was anybody coming in to look at a BMW, anybody who had the opportunity to even want to put that on the shopping list, it was my job to try to convey the passion I felt every time I looked at that brand. Very important. Everyone who comes in to look at a BMW has 100 different reasons why they're there. Maybe because they want to look at the car in their driveway, their neighbor got one, their friend got one. Maybe they just like the look. Maybe they like the performance. And you have to suss out pretty quickly why they're there. You could talk for hours and hours and hours about the technology, and they may not care. Maybe they just want to know why the car drives the way it drives. Or maybe they just like the way it drives and don't care why it drives the way it drives. You've got a couple of minutes to suss out pretty quickly why they're there and how to use their time most wisely while they're there. I think one of the greatest challenges of my job is to maintain the enthusiasm, at the same time ask articulate questions so your client's not feeling like they are answering a third degree. Keep it conversational, keep it casual. And at the same time, you're getting some really valuable data that you can use down the road to justify the purchase of that car. I learned pretty quickly that the sales process isn't really complete until they either buy another car from you or they send you a referral. And what I mean by that is when you shake a client's hand, it's more than sending them that birthday card. They expect that. What they don't expect is someone who handles all their service needs. What they don't expect is someone who runs to the parts department and figures out what those snow tires are going to cost and not only arranges the deal, but gets them a loaner car and arranges to put them in the loaner car while they're having those new tires installed. That's what you're trying to do. You want to make sure that you're so fully in front of this client that every time they think about cars, they think about you. It might be a car for their student son. It might be a car for a colleague. But don't give them any ammunition to go anywhere else. It's critical that you are the car guy. After 4 or 5 years of driving myself absolutely nuts, I figured out the best way to get away is ride a motorcycle or maybe even do a mission. I think the only time in the last 15 years I've been disconnected is when I spent a week or so in Haiti. There was no phone service. There was no internet. And it can change your perspective, not only because of what we were doing, but it really puts in perspective quickly about how important some things are to clients. I recall when I got back after being in that environment and seeing the misery, I got a phone call at the store. One of the first calls I got about someone who was a little disenchanted because their heated seats weren't working quite the way they thought they ought to. And I had to take a deep breath and really try to put this in perspective. And is this really important in the whole scheme of things? From what I've been through, it really wasn't. But for that client, it was the most important thing. Climbing on a motorcycle, there's no better way. You're disconnected. You can sit in that saddle for 8 hours a day and see some really amazing things. At night, you can check the phone, you can get on the internet and catch up in the email, but it's all about balance. And to do this job properly with any longevity, you've got to get away and you've got to disconnect. Family, very important, and don't leave them out of the mix because they too feel left out.